Hi guys, the sixth chakra, the Ajna chakra, is associated with the eyebrow center. It's related to the color indigo blue or oftentimes violet, and it has to do with our eyes, our ears, our sinuses, our nose, the pituitary gland, the master gland of the body. So a lot of things that are happening up here, and obviously up here is our central nervous system, the core, our brain. So a lot of things are happening throughout. So a lot of things are coming from the source in this part of the body and moving down. Now, if you've been doing these chakra yoga classes, you also should remember that as we're moving up through the body, we're getting closer to our wisdom, closer to spirit. From our root chakra down at the very beginning, we're dealing with earthly things, bodily things. As we've moved up through the chakras, we've moved through lots of different aspects of our life and our existence. And this chakra has to do with our inner wisdom and our intuition. Here is where our imagination lies, our dreams, our creative spark. Right in here, behind the eyebrows. Right in here, in the center of the brain, in between here. A lot of stuff is going on there. When this chakra is out of balance, a person can seem narrow-minded, stubbornly single-minded, unable to take in other people's ideas, other concepts. They can seem rude. They can seem to lack a vision for the future, not a shared vision anyway. When it is understimulated, people can feel a real sense of overwhelm, lack of imagination. They can sometimes feel out of touch with reality. People who are overstimulated in this chakra, we all know these types. They're out there in their own world. They don't seem to really grasp reality. They seem to kind of be in sort of a dream state. There can be jumpiness. There can be a loss of touch with reality. There can be people who are just kind of living in their own world. And when we're out of sync in this chakra, one thing that happens to all of us is a loss of concentration and an inability to really focus our mind. So it makes sense for this reason that meditation, mindfulness, and single-pointed concentration help to bring it into balance if it's understimulated. Because a lot of us know that sensation, know what that feels like. So the practices for this chakra are a little less physical than the earlier ones, but it makes sense because we're moving upward. We're in the wisdom mode. We are going to do a few postures that help stimulate this area. But some of the other practices are going to be more meditative, more mindful, and more wisdom-based, and more focused on the mind. So let's get started. So the sixth chakra, the third eye chakra, is where our intuition lies, our true knowing, the things that we just know, we sense, we intuit it. We talked before about the gut feeling. This is the internal knowing. This is the wisdom. You don't have to know where it comes from. You just know it. You just know when something is right. And there's a sense of clarity about those things. So focusing on this chakra, we're going to bring some awareness to this part of the body. And first and foremost, I just want you to bring your fingers into sort of a diamond shape. Hold that up at arm's level in front of you. And you can imagine that that's like sort of an eye shape. It's a wonky eye maybe, but that diamond shape, and I want you to slowly, slowly bring it in closer to you. So I'm looking inside the diamond, And I'm bending my elbows, bringing it a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. I'm bringing it up, up over my nose, and it's like a window. It's like a window to my soul. Bring it till it's resting on your forehead. And just focus. My thumbs are at the top of the bridge of my nose. I've created this window into my mind. I want you to close your eyes and just focus your attention on that eyebrow center. Maybe your thumbs are gently touching there. Focus your awareness on the forehead. Notice the temperature of the forehead. Notice any sensation you feel there and in the eyebrow center. You can open your eyes again, and we're going to move the arms back out. So as soon as you get your sight on your thumbs, start to focus looking inside that window again, looking through that window to the world, and extend the arms out. Just slowing us down, focusing our awareness on this part of the body. Now we're going to come on to the hands and knees. We're going to do a couple cat and cows and place the palms beneath the shoulders, just like normal, knees beneath the hips. Inhale, drop the belly down, look straight ahead. As you're looking forward, I want you to look into that third eye area, the eyebrow center. So if someone is seeing you, you might look a little bit silly, like a little bit cross-eyed, but it doesn't matter. So look, focus your awareness like a drishti in your third eye chakra as you inhale. Exhale, release. Closing the eyes as you exhale. Opening the eyes, focusing on the third eye as you inhale. Moving with your own breath. Focusing the eyes. Close the eyes as you exhale. Release the strain. 2 more. Inhale, third eye. Exhale, close the eyes and release. Last one, third eye. Concentrate on that space, looking at that space. Exhale and release. And sit your bum towards your heels. Bring your forehead down to the mat. Close the eyes gently. Keep the elbows lifted. Feel the weight of your head sinking into the forehead. Take 3 nice deep breaths. Focusing on your forehead, the sensation of the forehead against the mat, the sensation of the breath entering the nose and leaving the nose. As you're inhaling, feel the sensation of the sinuses filling up with air. Feel the air spreading behind the cheeks into those sinus passages. Noticing the breath as it fills those little sinus passages through the face. One more breath, noticing the weight of the forehead against the mat. Then gently come back up to all fours. Now from here, we're going to bring our elbows down. We're going to keep our bum up, but we're going to bring the forehead down. So you can even push back a little bit, but we're not bringing our heels back. In fact, we can tuck the toes to get that little bit of resistance. My belly is slightly against my thighs. So it's not any yoga pose that we normally do. It's kind of a hybrid. It's a crossbreed. Forehead is firmly placed on the floor. Palms are on the floor, elbows are on the floor.
As you're breathing in, I want you to imagine that you're breathing up the back of the spine. So as if the breath comes in the back of the pelvis and you're breathing it up through the vertebrae, up through the low back, the middle back, the upper back. And as if you're exhaling through the third eye, through the forehead. So we're using a bit of our imagination to visualize this, as we always do. If you're good at visualizing, if you like visual meditations, that's your third eye chakra being used, being stimulated. So as we're settling our weight into the forehead, breathing in, visualizing that breath entering the very back of the base of your spine, right here at the pelvis. Breathing it up through the back of the body, right up through the spine, as if it's a little breeze coming up and up and up through the vertebrae, up into the back of the neck, into the back of the head, and then right through the front. Exhale through the forehead. Pulling the breath in, exhale, sinking into that mat a little bit deeper through the forehead. Breathing up through the spine. You could even imagine, as you breathe up through the spine, a light moving up through the spine, extinguishing at the forehead. Or maybe you want the light to keep moving and maybe it starts to light up the mat. 3 more breaths. See it however you want to see it. If it's difficult for you to visualize things, just try to focus on the back of the spine and seeing a little light flash up through the spine. Settling your weight into that forehead a little bit deeper as you exhale. Now, if you have the toes tucked, you can release the toes because that might be a little bit strong. You can push your weight back towards the heels and come into a child's pose. Now, my knees are not as wide as the mat, but they're not closed either, so there's a little bit more room to breathe. So adjust your legs as you prefer. Forehead is resting on the mat. It's glued into place. Maybe you want to let the shoulders drop down. Maybe you want the arms relaxing down by the side. And let's keep working with that sensation of the forehead. Noticing the forehead, creating a picture in that space. So as you breathe in, as is common in both the Hindu and the Buddhist traditions, where this ideology of chakras and mindfulness meditation come from, I want you to imagine a big flower. Now, it can be a lotus flower, it can be a rose, I don't mind what it is. But I want you to imagine a many petaled flower. As you breathe in, the flower expands and opens, it blooms, and as you exhale, it closes back up, kind of like an umbrella opening and closing. Nature programs, inhaling and exhaling, seeing that flower bloom, all of its petals open, and then it closes back up. Time-lapse photography happening in your forehead, in your eyebrow center. 3 more breaths, opening the many-petaled flower and closing it up again. Opening that flower in your mind and closing it again. What color is the flower? What are the shapes of the petals? Can you count how many petals there are? See it open. And see it close again. Go ahead and bring the palms of the hands up beside the shoulders. Gently push yourself up. Forehead might be relieved. It might now feel cold with the air on it. It might have a red spot on it. And you might notice that you feel your eyes might feel a little bit wonky. So just settle into that for a moment. Notice what you feel, let it happen. Notice any differences in flashing or light or color that you're seeing behind the eyes. And then we're going to come forward and we're just going to lift up into a downward dog. Now I have socks on, which I never wear, so we won't hold it very long because my socks tend to slide around. So, releasing into downward dog. The fingers are separated. We're pushing the body away from the palms of the hands. The knees can be bent as much as you like. Lengthening through the spine. Imagining that we're reaching that forehead down towards the mat. Extending the forehead downward. Lifting through the sit bones. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Exhale, come back to the knees. Tuck the toes back underneath, sink back down, reach the arms forward, rest back on that forehead for a second. Come into our hare pose. I didn't open up the knees wide, but if you'd like to open the knees wider this time, sinking down. Let the arms sink down as well. Try to let the hips settle down, the pelvis settle downward. And now I want you to bring your fingers, your hands right above your head. In fact, we can make that diamond shape again, and you can rest your head in the diamond shape, or you can rest the hands just above the forehead. I'm going to experiment with resting the diamond shape right underneath my forehead. That also kind of creates a stopper so my head can't slide forward. I can feel the pressure of my fingers in the forehead, and my hands are quite cold. So I also feel a cold sensation. Notice what you feel. Continue to try to soften the hips and the chest downward. But some awareness is still there in the forehead. Maybe you want to open the thumbs out away from each other a bit so that the front of the forehead or top of the forehead is supported by the fingers, but maybe the eyebrows are still settled into the mat. Making subtle changes to the experience of the forehead into the mat. I told you this was going to be a different kind of yoga class, so really focusing on the forehead. You're not going to break a sweat here. 2 more breaths. And then push yourself back up. Crawl towards the front of your mat. Cross the ankles, sit back on your bum. Now at this point, if you have a block or even a cushion, we want to get that. When I have my block, I can lay down on my back. And I'm gonna put the block between my feet. So I'm gonna hold the block with my feet and I'm gonna lay back. I'm gonna reach my arms out to the side. They could be down more, whatever's comfortable for your shoulders and your upper back. And then I want you to lift those feet up. Now, we're trying to straighten the legs and bring the block in front of our chest, overhead. You can adjust it even so that it's sticking out beyond your toes so that the block is in front of your face. And keep reaching it
towards your face, but don't lift your bum off the ground. So a second, like you can rock for a second and let yourself settle back down, but then push the back of the lower back down. Your belly automatically pulls in when you do that. Activate the legs and hold that block up. Flex the toes down, point the toes up. Eyes are focused on the block. Flex the toes, point the toes. Flex and point, moving with the breath. Eyes are on the block. And then reach the hands up as well. Now, if I'm using a block, I can kind of control it. If you're using a cushion, you mightn't actually be touching. It depends on the size of your object. But I'm holding the legs up, I'm flexing the toes, and I can grab that with my fingertips briefly. Release it. I can't get it. Grab it and release it. Grab it as I flex, release up. Reach, reach, reach through the toes, through the fingers. And again, focusing our eyes on the block. And then getting the block in the hands or the cushion, whatever you have. Now I'm holding this directly above my head. I'm keeping my legs up, but I want to turn my toes out to the side. So my heels aren't touching. They don't have to touch, but I'm opening up my leg. So my knee is coming outward to the side. My toes are pointing out to the side. You'll feel it different through the body. I'm holding the block overhead, and I'm going to bend my elbows, bringing it up to my eyebrow center. Toes are pointed out, trying to keep the legs relatively straight. Bend the elbows. Eyes on the tip of the block as it comes down to my eyebrow center. I'm following and watching. Moving steady with the breath. One more. And release the legs. They might have gotten a little bit shaky. You can shake them out. You can bring them down onto the mat, feet side by side. You can let the knees drop out. Adjust your clothing so that you're relatively warm. And wobble those knees to the sides. Now, we're going to try to balance this on the forehead. So again, this is all experimental. Why would we be doing funky experimental stuff in our yoga class when we're trying to focus on the third eye chakra? Because this is the chakra of creativity. We want to get out of our comfort zone. We want to think outside of the box and see what seems natural, what seems unnatural, see how we react. So it's a little bit playful, it's a little bit different, like I said. See if you can balance the block on your forehead. If you can, if you're using a cushion, this is going to be way easier, and that's not fair. I hope you have a block. Bring the arms out to the side. And then look up towards that block that's resting on your forehead. Look from left to right and right to left, following the edge of that block. Continue to let the arms get heavy. Looking to the left, looking to the right, following the edge of the block. See if you can look up the side edges. How much of the block can you see? Can you notice any changes of color or texture of your block? Feel the weight of the block. Notice the shift of the block if it rocks a little bit to the left and right. Try to soften your gaze. Oops. If the block falls off, you just have to start again. I softened my gaze a little bit too much. I must have moved my forehead, but this is part of the game, guys. Try to soften the gaze so that you're not concentrating the eyes so much. We don't really want to create eye strain. You're looking softly at the edge. Let the edge be fuzzy. Try not to look past at things that are in the distance. Try to let the vision be fuzzy. Then gently close the eyes. As you close the eyes, does the block feel heavier? Does it feel more difficult to balance it? See if you can wobble it a little bit by gently moving the head just a little bit, yet keep it balanced. If it falls off, it's no big deal. You can put it back on. Keep wobbling. See how much you can wobble it before it falls off. If it falls off, set it back on one more time. See if you can shake your head slightly. Yes. See, can you wobble the block that way? Feel the weight of the block shifting on your forehead, on your brow bone, on the bridge of the nose, wherever it's settling, notice it. Focusing completely on that part of the body. Make that block move, no cheating. And then roll it off intentionally. Make sure it falls off your head. Bring the arms back up. Bring the knees back together. Bring those knees up to the chest and hug them close. Wobbling to the left and right. Bring a smile to your face. Remember, we're being playful. We're finding our creativity, our inner wisdom. And I think our inner wisdom knows that there's some good stuff out there in life. Out there, in here, everywhere. So smile. When you're ready, pull the knees into the chest and lift the head off the mat. Reaching that forehead towards the knees. And bringing it back down. Inhale as you're down. Exhale, curling up. Reach, 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 squeeze. And back down. One more of those. Exhale as you come up. Head towards the knees. And then release. We're going to roll up to sitting. So kick those feet up overhead. You can roll a couple times if you like. Releasing through the spine, being playful. And then come back to sitting. So as I said at the beginning, this chakra has a lot to do with our meditative practice of mindfulness, of the eyes. So as we're sitting up, we're going to do a few more sort of eye exercises, visual things, and then we'll finish off with a little bit of meditation. So I want you to bring your two thumbs in front of you, thumb to thumb, in front of your eyes. Look at the two thumbs, and then this is like going to the eye doctor. Follow the left thumb as you bring it out, out, out as far. Keep looking without. Try not to move your head, but look as far as you can bring that thumb over to the left, and then follow it, follow it, follow it, follow it back to center. Doing the same with the right now. Keep the head steady. Correct eye is following the thumb. It's hard not to start to turn your head, but keep looking at that thumb and then bring it back. Right and then left. Follow it with your eyes only. Don't move the head. And follow it back. It's tiring. Out with the left, out with the left, out with the left. Last time, follow it back. And then the right. I'm going to look like a loon on this video. 2 thumbs are together in front. I want you to bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. Touch the eyebrow center. Look at the thumbnail. Follow it back out. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. And follow it out. Release the hands. Release the hands, and now look as far away across the room, or if there's a window, even better, outside the window. Look at the thing that's furthest away from you that you can see. Focus your eyes on that object, and then close the eyes. Take 2 breaths. Open the eyes. Look at the faraway object. Now look at the tip of your nose. Tip of your nose. Cross-eyed. Tip of your nose. Lengthen through the spine. Roll the shoulders back and down. Keep looking at the tip. Then look up at the eyebrow center. Look out to the distance. Inhale, exhale, close the eyes. Take 2 breaths. Open the eyes, look at the distant object, focus your eyes. Look at the tip of the nose. Inhale. Exhale, can you see your nostrils flare? Look up at the eyebrow center. Inhale. Exhale. Close the eyes. Release the neck, chin to chest. Then turn your chin to the right shoulder, front and center, and to the left shoulder. And then back to center. Now you can sit comfortably, cross-legged, maybe if you want to sit on a block. So we want to get comfortable in a seated position. You might get your blanket, you might get your scarf. Make sure you're able to extend through the spine. And the first thing we're going to do is squeeze our eyebrows. So you can grab the actual fleshy bit of the eyebrow, well, not really the hair, but the fleshy bit. So relax through the face. Grab the fattest part of the eyebrow, and you can kind of push in a little bit with the thumb. But really, we're just kind of squeezing that skin. Squeeze it, move out, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Then with the thumb, we can push in a little bit to the bone. Push, 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 push. Squeeze again. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Part of caring for this chakra is caring for the eyes, caring for the forehead, caring for the ears. So listening to calming, nurturing music or bird sounds or the sound of water, sounds from nature that are really relaxing and calming, help. Looking at beautiful things. I'm an art teacher. I love looking at art. I love looking at nature. If you don't spend time every day looking at things that are beautiful, start doing that right now. Look not on the internet. Look out around you in the natural world. Start there. Then if you want to Google something beautiful, you can. But look at beautiful things. Listen to beautiful, natural, calming sounds. Give your brows a little squeeze. Give your temples a little pressure. Pressing from the temple, up, 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 right into the hairline here. If you had something a little bit hard, the edge of a comb, the edge of, I don't know, a spoon even, or a butter knife, not the sharp edge, but the handle, pressing something firmly right into that hairline. But even with our fingers, we can just press into the forehead, pressing inward, and then pressing outward. So we're not rubbing, but as we're pressing, we're kind of pulling out, pulling out, pulling out, pulling out. And then find your cheekbone. You can use your thumb or your finger here, get right in there, under there. If any of you have any of those fancy facial rollers, facial masks, any kind of little treat for relaxing the face. And of course, my favorite, opening your mouth up really wide. Again, please don't freeze frame this video. Open up the mouth. Stretch through the jaws. Open up the mouth and stick the tongue out. You can do that and look at the eyebrow center. Now, that is a traditional yogic practice. Oftentimes we do it as part of a yoga posture. So kind of like getting in tabletop position as we inhale into cow. You stick out your tongue and you look at the eyebrow center, but we can just do it sitting down. We're already in this position. And then bring the tongue back in, swallow and relax. Do that 5 or 10 times. That will help relax the face. It'll clear your mind because you're thinking, what a weirdo you look like. And it just helps stimulate this part of our body. We use our eyes a lot. Our eyes get strained. We want to do the different practices and exercises to relieve that. Even closing the eyes. And this is very, very gentle pressure. Gently, gently. I don't even want to say press. Just touch the eyelid. Feel the eye underneath. That littlest tiny bit of pressure. We don't want to put pressure on like we're going to pop our eye or anything. Just littlest tiny bit. Tapping through that top of the cheekbone, the lower part of the eye. Tapping through the whole face is good. Once you've done all those techniques, then settle into stillness. Close your eyes. Then it's time to look after the brain. Sometimes we can look after the brain by doing puzzles and figuring out problems in our head. Other times we can look after the brain by just trying to give it a rest. A rest that is not sleep. Sleep isn't really rest for the mind, for the brain. So try to settle into some stillness. Notice the breath. Try to fully focus your awareness on the sensation of the breath, on the sound of the breath, on the temperature of the breath, allowing all other thoughts to fall away. This is a way of caring for our mind, looking after our nervous system. Just following and noticing the next 10 breaths. Counting down from 10 as you exhale. If you get distracted, come back to the breath. Noticing sensations of the breath, the movement of the breath through the body. As you're breathing in, I want you to say to yourself, I see. Breathing in, I see. Breathing out, I know. Breathing in, I see. Breathing out, I know. I see and I know. I see and I know. I see and I know. This is the wisdom of the sixth chakra. Our intuition, our sixth sense, our inner knowing. Breathe it in, exhale it out. The actual symbol for this chakra, if you want to see it in your mind's eye, see it there in the forehead, is a two-petaled lotus flower, two petals open, and a triangle pointing downward. This symbol represents wisdom, it represents inner knowledge. Visualize two petals opening outward on the forehead and a triangle pointing downward, down into the body. Sending the inner wisdom down through the system of the chakras. Imagine you can send that inner wisdom into your throat, into your heart, into your gut, way down into the organs of the body, into the root of the system. Send that inner wisdom down into the body. You can see the triangle pointing down. Maybe you want that triangle to be something beautiful like a crystal pointing downward. The beautiful petals, what color are the petals opening outward on the forehead? See it in your mind's eye, because that is where we are focusing, on the mind's eye. I see and I know. I see and I know. Through my mind's eye, through my sixth chakra. Take 2 more breaths and blink the eyes open when you're ready. I thank you for joining me in this sixth chakra practice, and I wish you a beautiful, creative night's sleep, sweet dreams, and a great rest of the week.